Everybody, so today I'm here to review the Lansinoh SmartPump to the Motif Duo. They are both electric breast pumps. I've reviewed both of them individually before, so I'll have those linked in the cards and also down below in case you want to go check those out. Those videos are going to be a lot more in depth than today's video. I am just going to be taking my review points for breast pumps and comparing them to each other. So number one is price point. And this is pretty close. Technically, the Lansinoh retails for $250 and the Motif technically for $200. However, both of them are on sale 90% of the time, at least on Amazon. The Lansinoh goes on sale all the way to right now. It's at $130 and the Motif is at $140. You could argue that Motif wins this one looking at their retail value only. However, because they are on sale so often and Lansinoh seems to have the lowest price of the two, I'll give this one to Lansinoh. Number two is function and ease of use, and honestly this one is going to be a tie. I feel like both of them have different modes and different frequencies, different settings, all of which you're going to have to get accustomed to. The Lansinoh has different frequencies over here. They call them modes, but it's technically frequencies. So it will go faster, it'll go slower. There's 3 different ones to choose from. And then this one, there is a different memory settings. Same with this thing, it also does different frequencies as well. So they both kind of offer the same thing, which kind of allows for the same kind of learning curve, which is a little bit more than most pumps, but I do definitely think their learning curve is worth it. However, I don't think one is easier to use over the other, so that's why I say it's a tie. Number 3 is recommendations and reviews, and I wanted to give this one to Lansinoh only because the Motif is a kind of newer pump. It just got released, it hasn't been around as long, it hasn't been used by many moms, and a lot of moms might be hesitant to use this one because there isn't a lot of talk on it. If you look at the Amazon ratings, because Motif does not have a Google rating yet, they are both 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of talk about the Motif, so that's why I want to give this one to Lansinoh. Number 4 is portability and power options, and this one is going to go to Motif. If you look at these side by side, obviously the Motif is the smaller of the two. So as you can see, it is smaller. And also, it does have a rechargeable battery. It can be plugged into the wall and you can use it with a wall adapter as well. And the Lansinoh does have a battery pack on the back, but when you do load the batteries in it, it can be a little bit heavy. It still is a pretty small pump. Both of them are pretty small and portable. However, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, this is lighter and also smaller. Number 5 is accessibility to spare or replacement parts, and this one goes to Lansinoh. Again, Motif is a new pump. It's not in stores, or at least any around me, not Babies R Us, Bye Bye Baby, Target, any of those huge name brands. However, Lansinoh is. I have seen some of their accessory kits in stores, and those do include pump parts. They also have an online store where you can buy specifically every single little part you may need in just that single little part. Motif does have packs available on Aeroflow. I think I've seen it on a couple other websites as well, but technically in stores, Lansinoh is the only one available, so that's why Lansinoh wins this one. Number 6 is customer service, and this is going to be tied. Both Motif and Lansinoh have excellent customer service. I've never had a problem with either of them. Number 7 is durability, and this is also going to be tied. I went back and forth and leaning one way over the other. However, it's not really fair. In my time of using both of these both have withstood what I've put them through. I was an exclusive pumper. I would pump for an hour each time, half an hour each breast because I would single pump, and they had to go through a lot. I did not use the Motif nearly as much as I used my Lansinoh. I used this a lot longer and a lot harder. However, they both perform the same. I was thinking of leaning towards Lansinoh because I know how long it can go, but that's not really fair because I didn't put the Motif through the same test. If I take the amount of time that I did use the Motif and I compare that along with the same amount of chunk of time for the Lansinoh, it's tied. They both performed really well. I never had a problem. They obviously both still work, and there's no problem with durability. I also want to mention that neither of these pumps mention any kind of lifespan in their manual. I know some pumps do that, however these don't have that. Number 8 and the last review point is noise level. And this one's going to go to Motif. It is quieter than the Lansinoh, and that's really all I have to say about it. It can get a little loud when you crank it up all the way, but honestly, if you're keeping it at a medium or low setting, it's going to be a lot quieter than the Lansinoh is. And that brings me to just a couple extra bonus points. They both have two-phase expression, which is where it'll be really fast at first to stimulate milk, and then it'll do slower, long, drawn-out sucks to express milk, and that is to mimic baby's natural sucking pattern. They're both also closed systems, which mean that they have mechanisms in place to prevent milk from backing up into the motor. They are both single user pumps, which means they are only to be used by one mother and not passed down to another technically. And then they both also have light up LCD screens. They also have timers on them as well, and they both have effective cycle rates. A baby naturally sucks 45 to 55 times a minute, and you need a cycle rate of at least 20 to effectively draw out milk, and both of those are definitely going to exceed that. So on to my experience and also what I would recommend when it comes down to it. If you look at just the review points, Lansinoh did win just by a little bit. However, it was really hard for me to make this review. These two pumps right here are my two favorite pumps of all time. I have tried, I think, nearly 15 pumps now, so I have tried quite a lot, and I know what I like, I know what I don't like, I know what I would recommend and what I wouldn't. These two are always on the top of my list, and it's really hard to choose one over the other because honestly, they are very similar, especially in how they feel. Both of these have a hum, a little bit of a vibration to the suck that they offer. So like I've said before, comfort is going to be an individual thing. What I think is comfortable, you might not think is comfortable. So it's very individual. It does stink that you don't know if a pump is going to feel good before you buy it. You know, that's just kind of one of the risks with these things. So it is really hard for me to choose because they feel similar, they function pretty similar, and it really does come down to preference. Basically, my recommendation comes off of the different situations you might be in. Because these pumps are so great and I love both of them, I'm glad I have both. I will never get rid of either of these. I love them so much. But depending on your situation, I think one might be better than the other. So let me explain. If you are going to be somebody who is going to be traveling a lot, you want something that is light and compact and something that you can recharge and not have to worry about batteries, and you're just going to be on the go, and size and weight matters to you, Motif all the way. Like I said, it is lighter, it's rechargeable, it feels good, it functions well, it doesn't have a lifespan. Just genuinely love this pump, and I would recommend it to you in a heartbeat. Especially if you're looking for a portable pump, I would choose this over any other. Now, if you're going to be pumping at home, or you are going to be exclusively pumping, or you do need something portable but you don't really care about how much it weighs, that doesn't really matter to you, Lansinoh, hands down. Especially if you do want to go with the smart pump. If you want something that's smart, obviously the Motif doesn't have that. You'd have to go with this one anyways. But I did want to mention that the Lansinoh Signature Pro Pump is the same exact motor, so if you can find that for cheaper and you're between that one and the Motif, same thing goes with what I'm saying. This one has been a workhorse for me. I exclusively pumped for Remy for 1 year and 9 months, and this thing never let me down. Can't recommend it enough. Can't recommend this one enough. I think they're both great options. Like I said, I just think it depends on your circumstance. I will say that I am planning, as long as my insurance covers it, whenever we conceive our next baby and I'm expecting and getting a new pump and all that jazz, I am going to be picking this one. I know I could pick probably other ones that you guys want me to review, but I would honestly rather pay money for those and just kind of have this one here at home with me. That way I have a backup, because I never want to be without it. And same goes with this one. I love it so much. But like I said, I think it really does depend on your circumstance, what you're looking for. But either way, you can't go wrong with either of these. I love them both. Like I said, I will have those review videos linked down below for you guys, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks for watching.